powered by Riverside FM.
All right, welcome everybody to Choey and Chandler's The Fun Time Super Terrific Happy Hour. Yet another clip show edition, but cheers to everybody out there. So had just kind of some miscommunication with some scheduling, but next week we'll come back with some new stuff and some actual guests in the next few weeks, actually. But here, clip edition, and leading into that, first thing I want to do is let's turn it over to the holidays.
Here are today's effing holidays.
So here on June 20th, 2025, here are some holidays for today. First off, it's American Eagle Day. Not to be confused with the clothing store or the clothing brand, which is pretty cool. But no, this is to celebrate the United States national symbol on American Eagle Day. Today, we set aside time to raise awareness about the bald eagle and to preserve the bird's natural habitat. This holiday is also meant to educate others about the bird's importance and to explore ways we can ensure that the eagle continues to thrive for decades to come. All right, so here, American Eagle Day. Again, the animal, the symbol of our country, not the clothing line. Also today on June 20th, and this also seems appropriate for the summertime, it is National Flip-Flop Day. They come in various colors, are made of different materials, and are so much fun to wear. Celebrate National Flip-Flop Day. It says it's held on the Wednesday after Memorial Day by showing your favorite pair of flip-flops. However, today's June 20th. It's not the Wednesday after Memorial Day. It's kind of, just a little odd there. I would tell you flip-flops growing up, me and Choey called them thongs. Thongs a little bit different nowadays. But yeah, those were like a name that could be associated with the shoe back in the day. Third holiday on June 20th, it's National Hike with a Geek Day, which sounds kind of mean. But National Hike with a Geek Day is celebrated every year on June 20th. The purpose of this day is to promote healthy activity in people who otherwise work in a sedentary job throughout the year, such as IT professionals, accountants, and so forth. Hence the name Hike with a Geek Day. But basically, don't just sit around. It's like time to take today, get outside, get some energy, get some exercise, and enjoy the sun. And the last one I'm going to do, and I know I've done a few, but National Vanilla Milkshake Day is on June 20th, and I am a fan of milkshakes. National Vanilla Milkshake Day is on June 20th, and it's all about celebrating the original vanilla milkshake. It is made by blending milk, ice cream, and the vanilla flavoring for a classic-style beverage. Vanilla is actually native to central Mexico, and it's the only fruit-bearing member of the orchid family. So, learned something there. But yes, maybe I should get out there today and enjoy a milkshake. Hope you can as well. All right, so that is it for the holidays. Like I said, this episode is all about some clip shows, and this one specifically is about when we would ask Dr. Choey questions. So it's Dr. Cho answers some questions today. So sit back, relax, listen to Dr. Cho, and like I said, next week we'll be back with some more new material. Choey, we're gonna do an Ask a Principal segment, okay? So what's the deal? This is my Seinfeld, right? So what's the deal with TIA? Can you explain it to everybody like I'm 5 years old?
What's the deal? What's the deal? Tia's okay. Like, I like it. I like the idea behind it. I don't like the fact that, so basically, in a nutshell, if teachers hit certain marks on their evaluations,
yeah,
they get certain, but a big chunk of that rolls into it is performance growth and stuff like that based on what the kids are.
Yeah.
And then you can you qualify for a certain amount of bonus money coming from the state every year. which is good because I think teachers deserve to get paid more. But the only thing that's inherently an issue with that is the fact that you got to go. Hold on, Miss Tribiani sticking her phone underneath the door.
I thought you were thinking of a certain word to say.
No, I saw like a phone come underneath the door. I was like, what is this? But the only issue is then like you get people that are like freaking out about it and they get their feelings hurt whenever they don't hit it. And it's like, well, it's like, no, you're kind of a bad teacher, man. That's what it essentially boils down to.
Well, what I will say is what I don't like about it is the evaluation part. Not the growth part, right? Because even though like some kids are gonna grow better than others, but I don't like the evaluation part because it's one of those good things we don't talk about our school. But like my principal, her evaluation is way different than my AP, right? And it's kind of like if she doesn't like you, you're not getting a good evaluation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that hurts your money, and that's why I'm like, this is messed up. You know?
But that's where like some part of the process, like I said, inherently flawed is like. You get your T-test certification as the whole part. Like basically, you're supposed to get T-test trained as a teacher, so you understand how they're rating you.
Yeah.
You get T-test trained as an evaluator to make sure that like you're on point with what it is that they're supposed to say. And like the thing is though, like all you have to do is guess right on the test, kind of thing, and then you're certified to do it for after a couple of years in a row of getting it, then they get you bonus years where it's like 3 years until you get to retest. But it's kind of like driving. Like everybody got like 10 and 2, or now it's 9 and 3. Back when we were kids, it's 10 and 2 on the wheel, your hand over hand as you're turning.
Yeah.
Your mirror, blinker, head check, like you're doing everything right. You reverse like this, like looking backwards and checking where you're supposed to go.
So they won't let you even look at the camera now in the new cars when you're doing your driver's license?
No.
I still don't do that. I barely do that because I'm so used to looking over my shoulder, you know?
Well, I use it, but I also I'm like, well, the camera don't get everything, so I want to make sure.
Yeah.
But the oldest one went and did his test, and they were like, yeah, you can't use the camera.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, like, everybody like is like trying to be perfect on that test, and as soon as you get out, then you're like one-handed and like chilling like that. Yeah. Driving, it's the same thing with like appraisals. Like there's some like you said, some principals that are like, oh, I've been doing this for years. It's like, well, good. Like,
yeah.
Are your teachers really that bad? Are they really that good? I worked for a principal, or I worked for a principal, and I worked for two principals actually. They were handing out distinguished like they were candy, and I'm like,
is that the top one? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like when you go through that training, they say like the like 3% of the teachers across the state should be hitting anywhere in that rating. Just 3%. And I've seen way more than 3% of teachers that I've worked with, certain principals, and they're rating them up there. And I'm like, I had one that like hit some distinguished and some accomplished for this one teacher, and that kid, they had a 25% passing rate. 25%. I'm like, how are you going to say that teacher is that great? And a quarter of the kids are passing.
Well, I know, like we just did our math map last week, and we got the reading one coming this week. And I was looking at the scores, like they're comparing this fall to last fall, right? And obviously, I know that's a year's. I mean, that's way different, you know. But obviously, the summer thing is always like it hits. You know, the summer there's that summer effect. You can tell with kids, like a lot of kids just kind of they dip, right? Yeah. I guess the good news is I had some kids that did really, really low on the math now in the beginning of the year, so they got room for growth. Got like tons of room for growth. But it's like I was looking like somebody, like one of the girls was like in the 57th percentile last year at this time, and she's like in the 6th, and I'm like, what the? I was like, I get a little bit, but like I don't think you tried at all. But she, I'm already worried about her.
Did you go to school last year?
I'm already worried about her. She's already missed like half the year. Like she'll be there one day, then she won't be there the next day. And unfortunately, there was like a death in the family, so it's like it's hard for me to like address it, because I'm like, hey, where's so and so at, but because I could understand, she's dealing with some stuff, but
it's like the unsensitive thing to say.
I need you to be here like more than one day in a row,
It's like an unsensitive thing to say, but she should be like, so how many people have died in your family that
it's funny.
Out?
Choey, put on your doctor hat, all right? Because this segment right here is going to be Ask a Doctor, okay?
Sounds good.
You're going to analyze my dreams. We have 2 dreams here, right? And these dreams were about 3 weeks ago. So bear with me if I don't remember all the details, you know? I wrote down
Yeah.
enough. First one I thought was funny, right? I had this dream. You, me, and the missus, we were out shopping or something. We were gonna go meet for we were gonna go meet up for something, right? We're gonna go meet for dinner or whatever. And say it's 4:30 in a dream. And you're like, hey, we'll be there at 5. Me and Mr. Tribiani, we're gonna go get ice cream right now. And I was like, what? And you're like, yeah, we're gonna go get ice cream. We'll be there in 30 minutes. And I was and so in the dream, you and I got in a little funny argument because I'm like, dude, I don't think you understand how time works. And you're like, what do you mean? And I was like, the ice cream shop is 15 minutes away, right? So you gotta drive there. Then you're gonna get your ice cream and eat the ice cream. And then you're gonna drive back. I was like, I don't think you're gonna be there in 30 minutes. And it was just kind of funny because it ended up being this argument between you and I over time, you know? What would you say? How would you interpret that, Dr. Cho?
So let me ask you one quick clarify. When we're gonna meet for dinner, it's you and I or me?
Us 3.
All 3
Your
of us.
wife was yeah, we were all gonna eat dinner.
So I would say, it's obvious that the dinner represents the fact that you feel like a connection and you feel part of the group and the group dynamic. You feel welcome within our family. So that's great, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's the ice cream and you're fighting over the time. It's basically, you're just saying that the missus is taking too much time away from you with me. And therefore, we're just going to have to make sure that, at some point down the road, she just has to go off on her own. And obviously, it means that she's going to establish and buy a dairy farm.
Right.
And then we'll make ourselves famous with Choey and Jailers. Yeah.
What's funny? I'm laughing because I'm like, that's probably what most people would interpret. I'm thinking there's probably a lot of insight there. And then I'm also laughing because I was like, in my brain, it's just we're just arguing over I'm a big person on time, but we're just both arguing over no, you're stupid and you're stupid. It's just kind of funny. But so the continuation, because really this is a 2-part dream. You ever have dreams that just you start doing one thing, and then you're on an airplane, and next thing you know, you're you're teaching school, it just morphs in this weird transition, and you're like, how the hell? You and me, we're having this debate over the time, right?
Yeah.
And while we're doing it, we're in front of the store, and they had this kind of half crescent, drive up. You know what I mean? Almost drives into the parking lot.
Yeah.
And then they had this brick wall structure in the middle with some plants or whatever, and this tow truck drives by, right? You and me, we're not arguing, but we're obviously disagreeing with each other, and you just hear this, right? And we kind of look up, and this tow truck had got its back cable had got stuck. Someone was dragging on the street and got stuck into the wall, and as it was trying to drive away, it caused the truck to crash, right? And then so that kind of startles us, and then the truck somehow unwedges, drives off, and then you hear this other big accident, and then you and me, the heroes that we are, we just start sprinting towards the sound, right? The accident sound. You outrun me, and then as I'm running slow, I kind of stop, and I almost fall, the road collapsed, right? And I almost fell, and I was able to stop myself. But what's the main thing I wanted to tell you is you're running, and I'm yelling, Choey! And then the ground crumbles underneath you, right? And you just fall, right? And bounce like a Super Mario's character. And the next thing you know, you're up walking, and and you'd fall in 50 feet, and there's just nothing happened, and the ambulance came, and I was just that's weird, What would you say there, Choey?
Well, that one, it's also obvious. I fall 50 feet and bounce up because I have a miraculously well-toned buttocks that just absorbs stuff like that. And also, I feel like you probably did a lot of drugs before you went to bed that night. Yeah. Because you
Ibuprofen.
get you want to eat ice. You're talking about going out to eat, and then we got the munchies for ice cream before we're going to dinner, which is weird because I'm having my dessert first, and then we're running. But it ties in, like I see, like you said, because I got to run down the street to burn the ice cream calories off, and so I feel like you were on drugs.
You know what? The last thing I want to make sure I mention is when you fell down, I was like, Choey! I wasn't like, oh, Choey's dead. And then just turned to walk away, you know?
Okay. It's a dream
Yeah.
versus real life.
I was like, I think I found like a, like some of those movies, they find like that tree branch, it just keeps going and going. There's like a rope to like throw into the crevice to try and help you get out. And like I said, next thing you know, you just have like a scratch above your head. I'm like, are you the guy from Unbreakable? You know? Are you
Well, that'd be
Bruce Willis?
cool. That would be cool.
All right, Doc. I need Choey to put on his Dr. Cho hat, okay?
Okay.
So I got another dream for you to analyze, right?
Yeah.
And we'll have your Dr. Cho music playing. This is it's gonna be really, I don't want to say tough, but it's not gonna be a whole lot of detail in this dream because this happened, I want to say about a week ago. And so, other than me writing down, hey, the dream name of what I referred to it as, I don't remember a lot of specifics. So, bear with me there, sir. But essentially, the dream was we were fans, right?
Yeah.
We were like coaches / fans of a soccer team, and it was like our country against another country. And basically, actually, I don't even think it was our country. It was basically for the fate of the world. A game of soccer played for the fate of the world, right?
Yeah.
What I do remember is we're up 1-0, right? And then they score, and we're like, oh, it's 1-1. And then I remember thinking, like, I remember making a comment to you in the dream. I was like, because it got real tight, right? And like, it's really like, nerve wracking. Just like if you're watching like a big cup match, playoff match, big tournament, whatever. And I was like, man, it almost seems like it's rigged, like the TV's rigged. And then we scored on like a handball, and I was like, yeah, that ain't gonna count. But so in the dream, the rules were if we lost or tied, we were all gonna die. And we ended up with a 1-1 draw. Like the ref blew the whistle and stopped the time. And we it was still like, come on, ref, we don't want to die. And then whoever we played, they like, we agreed to shake hands and do it all again.
Yeah.
What would you interpret that dream as?
I feel like you're non-committal, whether or not you want to be around kicking people in the balls or not. And so you feel like when you go to kick somebody in the balls, it's not the end of the world, but it could be the end of the world. And therefore, you're not really sure about it. And so you want to be able to like let bygones be bygones.
Remember Billy? As you were talking, I was thinking of Billy Madison. Remember?
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I'm making fun of you, by the way. I'm not saying you're stupid. I'm just making fun. It's just like
That's what I'm going for. Like that's what I'm going for.
All right, we're gonna roll on over to break real quick. Time to get some ad revenue out there and just promote ourselves as best we can. So take it away, guys.
We say toast, convey, cheers, man, and cheers, mate again, or simply cheers. Sometimes it's all tossing, other times it's cheers. Hey, you effing hoser. We also say Sunday salute, saluting, or Tage, skull, Russia, we cheer, Nostrovia. And now in Vietnam we can say yo. That's how Choey and Chandler cheers around the world. Cheers, cheers around the world. Cheers, cheers around the world. Different languages, same sentiments, raising our glasses to friendship and joy. Cheers, cheers around the world. Cheers, cheers around the world. The world.
Hi there, I'm here to help Choey and Chandler to read an advertisement for BuyBlackett.com. Please shop BuyBlackett.com. Are you looking for unique gifts at unbeatable prices? Then look no further. BuyBlackett.com has quality merchandise for everyone on your list, from gifts for cat and dog lovers to American fans, beer enthusiasts, and even Jesus lovers. As for teachers, we didn't forget about you. Please don't miss our funny attire to brighten up your classroom. So bring a smile to your loved ones' faces and shop BuyBlackett.com today. Tell them Choey and Chandler sent you.
Hi there, Ryan Reynolds here on behalf of my friends Choey and Chandler. You may know me from movies where I either save the world or ruin Thanksgiving. But today, folks, I'm not here to sell you cologne, crypto, or questionable NFTs. I'm actually here to tell you about Fish.audio. This isn't really me talking right now. This is my voice, made by Fish.audio, which frankly is terrifying. It sounds exactly like me, and trust me, I've heard my voice in 87 trailers. This is better. Whether you're a podcaster with a potato microphone, a game developer building an army of space dolphins, or just lonely and want a perfect Morgan Freeman to read your grocery list out loud to you, Fish.audio has you covered. Fish.audio is easily one of the best voice generation platforms I have ever used, which is saying something, because I've done voiceover for a toothpaste brand in 4 languages I don't even speak. And speaking of that, Fish.audio is cross-lingual, which means it supports 13 different languages. Their amazing program also allows you to clone voices. Fish.audio make your voice legendary, or at least make my voice say weird things. I legally can't stop you either way.
And that wraps up this week's edition of Choey and Chandler's Fun Times for Happy Hour. A little bit shorter. Try to be a little more zany here. Like I said, there will still be some more clip shows because there's some certain things that I like getting out. Because when you put them all together, it just makes me laugh. So a little selfish, part there. But we do have some interviews coming up and some new material as well. And then me and Choey, as always, working on some things. We just both got a little busy, and honestly, I've gotten a little lazy, and I'm trying to get out of that. So I hope everyone's having a great summer right now. And I'm going to pull the plug on this, and we're moving on to next week's episode. This will end this one. Peace, guys.